Women always ask me, what happened to men today? Great question. What started out as a good thing, encouraging men to respect women, has swung way too far in the opposite direction. Now, a lot of men are terrified of women, so they wait for perfect conditions before making a move. But courage doesn't exist without risk, and women can't respect men who don't risk anything. So as a man, if you want to be seen as confident, you've got to be willing to look stupid, to get rejected, to be misunderstood. So start by taking small risks. Approach women when you're out and about. Initiate plans with them. You'd be surprised how fast it'll work, because women nowadays, they're not turned off by that kind of effort. They're starving for it.
Men have stopped chasing, and now women are panicking. Instead of reflecting, they attack, insult, and label men as weak, gay, or immature. But no one wants to admit the truth. When the power of choice shifts, those who lived off validation fall apart. Today, you're going to see this with no filter.
I made a video saying if a man doesn't chase women, what does he chase? Dick. It was a serious question, but then a bunch of angry men got in the comment sections, wrote their opinions, which is completely fair, which is completely fine, but now it's my turn. So when I say chase women, I'm sorry for not being more specific. I will take full accountability because I know when talking to men, you have to be very, very specific. So I know this, I should know better. But what I really meant is being more persistent, deciding, you know what, this is the woman I like, and if she doesn't text me back, then I'm going to send a double text, right? I'm going to do a little chasing because she's the woman, and I'm not going to sit up here and try to match her energy because she is a woman and I am a man, right? So maybe if I don't get a text back, instead of waiting, call her. Maybe I could show some consistency. That's more so what I meant. But because I know men are scary creatures that do scary things to women, I know why it got blown out of context, because when you guys hear chase women, you think of actually chasing down a woman that's showing absolutely no interest in you and wants to be left the fuck alone. The second comment that I saw that was very common is that you guys don't chase women because you're chasing money. And all I'm gonna say about that is you're a fucking liar. And even if you are, chasing it, a lot of the comments I saw is like, oh, well, if a woman really likes you, you don't have to chase her. Well, the money must not like you then, because it's fucking running way faster than you ever could.
Her message shows exactly why so many men are walking away. She demands one-sided effort while disrespecting any man who refuses to play that game. Asking a man to double text, call, and keep pushing without any reciprocity isn't romance. It's humiliation. A man who values himself doesn't chase someone who shows no interest. He invests where there's return. When she mocks men by saying money runs faster, she's showing frustration, not logic. Men focused on building something don't beg for attention. Persistence without reciprocity isn't masculinity. It's disguised neediness.
When you say I don't chase women, my first initial thought is, well, then go find your man. You likely aren't making plans. You aren't initiating conversation. Your text messages are really dry. What are you doing? Are you wanting the woman to chase you? Because if that's the case, then you probably aren't even into women. You're probably into men. I just don't get it when men say things like this. You probably don't text first in the morning. You don't say good morning. You don't say good night. You don't check in. Like, you want to be single. That's what you should be. If you're not pursuing a woman, then you want to be a woman. Like, this is the problem with guys nowadays. They're so fucking feminine that they want the women to do their job. No.
Here we see a classic attack. When a man doesn't chase, she questions his sexuality and masculinity. That's not an argument. It's emotional manipulation. She assumes that any man who isn't constantly texting, validating, and flattering must want to be a woman. In reality, men who respect themselves don't compete for attention or keep proving interest. A healthy relationship is based on mutual effort, not pursuit. What she wants is the old model where the man works and the woman simply chooses. When that model fails, they don't reflect, they insult.
If a man ever brags that they do not chase women, she's falling down. If they brag that they do not chase women, if they brag that they're not going to go out of their way for a woman, you like men. You want to be a princess. You want a man to chase you. They haven't admitted to themselves that they are actually gay. Okay. Because a guy who guys know like, it's not about chasing a woman in particular, like, more about pursuing a woman, okay? If they're like bragging that they do not pursue women, like, you're kind of girly, kind of weird. It's just not a flex, because the girls that are actually of high quality are going to not chase you. They're not going to chase your validation. They're not going to go out of their way to prove to you that they're worth being picked. Okay. Because a lot of the high quality women that you want are going to require you to pursue them. And yes, I am referring to pursuing, not chasing. So if a woman's not showing any signs of interest, of course the guy shouldn't have to chase them, right? But if you're bragging that, oh yeah, like, I just, I'm not going to chase a woman. I'm going to have her come to me. I'm not going to pursue women. I'm going to have her come up to me. She needs to show me that she's worth being with. Like, I'm sorry, in what world? You are not the prize. The woman is the prize, always. And if you think you're the prize, sir, I think you need to be with men. You need to be with men, and you have to acknowledge the fact that you might possibly be gay. And that's okay. Just learn to accept it. Stop complaining, because the girls that you really want are going to require a little bit of effort. Sorry, sir. It's just how it is.
This reveals the inflated ego driving modern dating culture. She claims the woman is always the prize and that any man who values himself must be gay. That's not empowerment. It's narcissism. When a woman believes only she has value, she isn't looking for partnership, she wants worship. Real men don't compete for approval. They choose. The idea that a man must prove his worth while the woman simply exists creates bitter, unbalanced relationships. When men stop chasing, women feel the loss of power and they lash out.
I think I actually really understand why men are not approaching women out. Beyond the fact that the dating apps have kind of ruined dating culturally. I also think the emphasis we've been putting on consent is scary. It should be. I think I would prefer that you are concerned and erring on the safe side. Obviously, this is an important conversation that had to happen. I understand, though, why men have gotten into their heads, especially men who care a lot about not making a woman feel uncomfortable, that they would just err on the side of caution and not approach a woman at all. Like, I understand that.
She's the only one who gets close to the truth. She recognizes that a culture of fear, accusations, and risk has made men pull back. When any approach can be labeled creepy or invasive, rational men stop playing the game. A man who values his reputation, career, and peace avoids ambiguous situations. That isn't cowardice, it's strategy. The problem is, women want masculine initiative without paying the cultural price they helped create. They demand boldness in an environment that punishes boldness. The result? Men retreat, and flirting is replaced by silence.
Not picking on you per se, but I think the term high value was invented to manipulate people, and let me explain why. So the whole high value thing came to be, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, from red pill content, where a bunch of men came together and decided what was a high value woman and what was a high value man. Now, second became these dating women coaches, which, by the way, I think it's all BS. So let me put it out. And they decided to pander to women by saying high value women do this, high value women do that. And then men are going, high value men do this, high value. And then everybody thinks that they're better than everybody else. It's an entitled mindset, and it is used to manipulate you. There was a whole thing where it's like, I think Kevin Samuels was the one. I can't stand that man. He is gone off of this earth, but I believe he might have been one of the first ones to do this whole high value thing. Like, single moms don't have value, promiscuous women don't have value. And while you can argue that those things might deem you less desirable to the 1% men, which is fine, because if you are a 1% man, you probably have tons of options. And maybe you don't need to date a single mom. That's not saying that 1% men don't find single moms attractive either. But I think when someone says that high value men don't chase, they attract, I think that's silly. High value, if there's a such thing as high value men, because I think that's stupid, like I said, then I think a high value man would be more of a traditional alpha male, and he would pursue, not chase. And I think that a lot of men fail to realize that pursuing and chasing are two different things. any man who's called themselves high value is nobody I want. I'm just being honest. Like, I don't, they're usually arrogant. They're usually misogynistic. A real man, a real even alpha male doesn't go around calling himself an alpha. He doesn't call himself high value. He lives his life in a quiet confidence. He is not turned off by a woman that maybe isn't perfect. He goes for the quality of the human rather than their circumstances. And that's what I think to be a true high value man. Same for a woman. If a woman goes around calling herself high value and says, I'm not going to date a guy who makes under figures, I'm not dating a guy who's under 6'4", I think that is a form of insecurity. This is just me being honest. These are my opinions. I just think it's so subjective what someone values. And the whole dating coach culture and the whole red pill culture of women and men being high value has made everybody entitled and narcissistic and selfish. And nobody even knows what a quality human is because they're so obsessed with themselves that they don't even know what a quality human is. This is a tangent. It's not really about you, but it made me think about this topic. Okay, love you.
She criticized the idea of high value, but at the same time proves why it exists. When she says men shouldn't choose based on standards and should accept any situation, she's defending female convenience, not balance. Successful men have always been selective. That's not hatred, it's logic. What she calls narcissism is actually men reclaiming their right to choose. When women are evaluated, they call it oppression. When men are evaluated, they call it standards. That double standard is exactly why the dating game is broken.